AviationPros.com is the portal website for AMT, Airport Business, and Ground Support Worldwide magazines. Visit daily for breaking news, industry blogs, and insightful articles from our magazine's editorial team. And don't forget to sign up for our publication's daily e-newsletters. It's all at AviationPros.com. In this episode of the Aviation Pros Podcast, I'm joined by Rob Polston, CEO of Spartan College of Aeronautics and Technology, and Eli Mays, Director of Maintenance for SkyWest Airlines. We discussed the workforce challenges the industry is facing and how a new initiative between Spartan and SkyWest is looking to change them. First question I have for you is just to set the stage for our conversation here. Could you tell me just what are the difficulties aviation maintenance is facing right now?
From the SkyWest side, we outside of the obvious situation we currently live in the world, with the pandemics and such. It's for us. It's really getting the word out, about the great career and opportunity that you can have as a aviation mechanic. Some people don't know that you can really get your license and be in the career in 18 months to 2 years. And really, that to us, that's the most important key is people understanding and realizing that you don't have to go to a traditional school, 4-year college to be able to start a great career.
Yeah, I agree with that, Eli. I think the biggest issue is on one side, the airlines are all getting back to pre-pandemic levels, and that means that the industry is looking for talent right now, and we're just getting back to where we were in 2019, and there's just not enough supply of good, talented mechanics and pilots out there in order to meet the demand today, and in the future, there's going to be even greater demand as more planes are produced, as more routes are created, as more opportunity for development in the airline industry. So there's just not enough supply out there of good, talented graduates and people who really, as you said, understand the industry. It's a category awareness issue. People know about nursing because they've seen it on TV. They know about criminal justice because they've seen it in pop culture, but they don't know about the great career path of being a mechanic or being in the aviation industry in general, the excitement around technology and technology change, and the essential place that aviation plays in our economy and the global economy. So I agree with you 100%. It's about raising awareness and category awareness around aviation and getting people even understanding what those career paths can look like.
Kind of looking historically here, what have been the solutions to these issues and how have those fared?
In recent years, even before the pandemic, SkyWest, we've worked with a lot of schools across the country to provide pathway programs that help students, start a career as soon as they graduate. That's kind of the key. We don't like to watch people have to figure out what they're going to do for a long time because, then other interests take over, or just life happens. These programs have been very well received, from all the people, and it has really given us a good pipeline that we have today. But as Rob mentioned, there's just so much coming so fast, gearing back up after the pandemic that it's just not enough to fill everything. And so I think, in general, these things in the past have helped really well, but we're going to have to continue to do it and even beef it up more to be able to continue with the demand.
Yeah, I think that both colleges and airlines have not been connected in the way that they need to in order to solve this problem. And what has historically been the case is that we have recruiters come on our campus and we connect people at graduation time or maybe a little bit prior to that to learn about companies. And that's not a really it's a proactive approach, but it's not proactive enough. And so what we're trying to do here right now is to create really an opportunity for partners that are deep meaningful relationships to solve a human capital problem that's fast on the horizon. And that means connecting students when they're even before they start their program to raise category awareness, to raise awareness of SkyWest in particular for the aviation technician career pathway program, and really connect employers early on in the funnel with prospective students, so that students have an idea about what it means at the end of the day, where their college training is going to take them. So, I used to work in Europe for many years in education, and what Europe got right in a lot of cases, and what we don't have in the United States, is what I call apprenticeship, where they're really connected with industry very, very early on in their decision to even go to school. So I think that's going to be the big change, or at least the change that we're trying to help industry with partners, very select partners that we can not only promote them as employers of choice, but also the industry, and raise awareness much, much earlier than the day that they graduate, because it's going to be really a very competitive for talent. And if you're not talking to your prospective pipeline earlier than graduation, it's going to be a race to the bottom in terms of finding all the talent you need.
And we've touched on it a little bit so far, but how has the pandemic affected all of this?
Well, originally it sped up the whole process. We saw the need for mechanics, pilots, and everything well before the pandemic, right? I mean, we knew it was coming. We knew there's a lot of people going to be in retirement, but that pandemic sped that process just 100, if not more, fold. And it required, it allowed those people who were close to retirement to retire earlier. It opened just so many jobs. And then during the pandemic, everything slowed down enough that was okay. But as soon as it took back off, again, that demand that Rob's talking about just hit. And so that's really the kind of how it's hit us in general in the aviation industry. And honestly, we still are recovering. But SkyWest itself, we are able to offer our people a stable, reliable career right now, that a lot of other people can't. We have a great history. We're very have a good foundation, especially with Spartan. We've worked with them a long time. We've not just on the mechanic side, but on the pilot side. And really, I'll be honest, even during furlough, we never furloughed, or during COVID, we never furloughed one mechanic. In fact, even in all of our history, we've never furloughed one crew member or a mechanic. And I think that in itself speaks to volumes for our company.
Yeah, I don't know how many of the listeners out there know SkyWest and why we're so excited to work with SkyWest, but it is the largest regional airline in North America, and it has really a huge effect on the whole ecosystem, because the pilots and mechanics that go there, many times for pilots, it's maybe a first step and a necessary step onto a major airline, or they stay with SkyWest. So SkyWest is playing a critical role, and I agree with Eli. The pandemic has done nothing other than, for a very short period of time, disrupted air travel, but what it caused was an acceleration of the supply-demand imbalance in the talent that's going to be required to maintain what we had in 2019, but then move forward, going into 2022 here and beyond, as air travel returns. Business travelers haven't returned yet. International travel hasn't returned. So once that happens, and we have the mandatory retirements that we have for pilots, it is going to be, it has done nothing but accelerate the need for finding new ways to recruit talent to this industry.
And that is a perfect segue into talking about this initiative you've launched, the SkyWest Aviation Maintenance Technician Pathway. Can you go into just how did this come about, and what is it exactly?
Well, I think it came about because of our history with Spartan in general. I'll tell you, from the mechanic side, we have a lot of mechanics, including myself, that went to Spartan, and so we know the program well. We know what they have to offer. They put out great students. Their training is exceptional. They have a lot of equipment that you can work on. Not all schools have that same capability, and so we kind of wanted to partner with a school to this level, that we had a great history with, and I think that's kind of what started that. We've always been impressed with their program and the quality of their students. This program itself makes it easier for a student to launch their career with us here at SkyWest early on. As Rob was talking about before, in the past, he's right. We would go to job fairs kind of and just say, hey, when you graduate, come to us. This actually allows a student to come in, sign up with SkyWest the day that they start with Spartan. Get in with us. We keep communication. We offer, a lot of assistance. We give them mechanical advisors that they have access to, and also they start building company seniority the day that they sign up, and that gives them opportunities for all sorts of things with the day they start here with SkyWest. So I think in basics, the target is to get them in early, communicate with them. We know that not everyone wants to maybe come to SkyWest in the end of their career. There's a lot of careers out there, but this also gives them an opportunity to see who we are and what we are well before the end of their career. And then in addition to that, we've taken the next step to where we're actually offering educational assistance program with them in addition to the pathway program, which we do offer, some educational funding up, around $4,500 for their educational assistance when they commit to work with us at SkyWest anytime during their training. I think that's just a few of the high level, and we can get into a little bit more of the details here in a little bit.
Yeah, I don't, we started this relationship, it's been going on a long time in terms of, providing graduates to SkyWest. Really happy to have them on our campuses. We've been providing education since 1928 at Spartan, and we've trained over 100 and mechanics. So, we're now in 4 locations in Los Angeles and in the Los Angeles area. We're in Denver and we're in Tulsa. And we were talking with SkyWest last year around July, and the executives of SkyWest had exactly the same point we did, which was, we need graduates, but we need to do something different that allows us to tell our story earlier, so that we can bring more people into the industry. And so, that was a joint creation between us to really address the need of building a pipeline of talent and getting the word out about SkyWest. So it started as a shared view of that this industry needs to change in terms of how we're going to get people involved, and then how we can partner together for the benefit, not benefit SkyWest, but also benefit Spartan, because one of the big issues in people making a career choice is, understanding whether it's right for them, but also the vision of where they're going to be, that concrete view of where they're going to be, hopefully, when they get out of the program. And so when they know that they have a SkyWest pathway on the other end of that graduation, it makes it a lot easier for parents or sponsors and the student to take that step because they can see the light at the end of that tunnel, and they know that they're on a path to employment and a really fulfilling job. So that was kind of the whole start of the conversation was, really a joint view of how can we do this different than just, trying to compete for graduates when they come out of school, because there's not going to be enough of them. And we all know that.
Yeah, and continuing with that thought, what would you say makes this program a little bit more innovative or different from others like it or prior initiatives?
Well, I really think in general this really benefits the students themselves. In the past, the airlines have kind of always got the benefit, right? Student puts everything out there, they put all the risk, and then they come back, and then at the end of the day, we as the airline get the benefit of hiring them. Well, at this point, this program, everything is an upside for the student. They get in early. They get to offset their seniority. They get to start towards their health care benefits sooner. Bonuses, vacations, everything that comes along with that. Normally, when you would start with a company, you can get that now in school. This partnership allows that opportunity for them to be first in line for interviews at the end of their schooling. And everything now is geared towards them, not towards just the company who's hiring them. And I think that's a wonderful opportunity that we haven't really provided in the past. And so we're really looking forward to continuing that.
Yeah, I think the other thing about these programs is Spartan is pretty unique. I would say in the way that we approach. We're a college. We're recognized to grant both certificates, diplomas, and degrees in the field of AMT. So, students get the benefit of what they need to know in a college program, but not really wasting time or spending time and delaying getting to the job market, doing things that maybe just don't pertain to their career. And I think this is a major trend in the U.S. now too, is we're understanding and recognizing that not everyone needs to have a bachelor's degree. Not everyone needs to have a master's degree. We need people who are technically competent, who have great skills, and we can get them to the job market and placed in essential industries. And so at Spartan, we've always operated a college that was not a university or something that wasn't defined or a mom and pop technical school. We have a very serious approach to education, but it's focused. It's focused on getting people prepared for jobs in aviation, and that's all we do. That's all we're focused on. And so I think that's, this pathway program is one of the first that SkyWest has launched with a partner like us, in order to, accelerate that speed to market for students so that they can get what they need and get to the job market as quickly as they can when they acquire those skills. However, I will say, and this leads back to the reason we're even having this conversation, it's not an easy path. Being a AMT mechanic or being a pilot, it takes time. It takes lab work. It takes didactic work, and we're doing that in a way that's focused, but it takes time to create a new mechanic and a new pilot, and that's not going to change. It's a job, or it's a education that requires a lot of hands-on work. This is an industry that safety is paramount, and that is that can't be taught in a way that is so fast that you don't get the full benefit of that education. So the bottom line is, it takes time, and it takes a commitment, and it takes a demanding prospect who wants to have that kind of career path and that kind of responsibility.
Yeah, I would add on to that, Rob. We do advertise, hey, you can get your career in 18 months to 2 years, but that is on the flip side to know that has to be dedicated as well, because it's not like a normal college where you can go and take one class a semester and get away with it and extend that 4 years. It is dedicated, and for all those reasons you mentioned, of making sure that we're dedicated to safety and doing things correctly and understanding the manuals and what's needed for the job task at hand. So no, I appreciate you bringing that up.
Excellent. Yeah, and we've covered a lot of the benefits so far in our conversation here, but are there any other benefits of the pathway program that we want to highlight for our audience?
Yeah, I'll kind of walk through them again because I know they've kind of been sporadic. Basically, the sooner somebody signs up with the pathway program, they start building their company seniority right away, the day one. This date that they start, it's used for your medical insurance, your travel, profit sharing programs that we have here at SkyWest, 401k matching. That means that the day the student starts with SkyWest, they have 2 years worth of company seniority. That's unheard of. And that's awesome. I remember when I started at SkyWest, I was like, man, I got to wait 2 years before I can get this profit sharing thing. And for someone to jump in and be able to do that now, that's exceptional. With those who want to participate in the educational part of the program, and receive up to $4,500 in that assistance, that's a huge benefit. It's like, some people may need it to cover the gap of what loans may not cover, or whatever else they may need it for when they're going to school. We offer that during school. It's not once at the end of their school week. We offer that ability to get some of that money while they're going to school. We have opportunities for them to receive mentorships from SkyWest. We have mechanics and trainers that are available for questions. Now that the pandemic's kind of getting behind us, we actually, we can get back to hangar visits for those that are, interested. And also, we're guaranteeing an interview for those in the pathway program, and those who are in the educational assistance. We take that one step farther, and we actually will provide them an opportunity to be employed after their interview. We do offer the up to $1,600 for A&P testing reimbursement. We do, we do have moving expenses of $1,500 moving expense reimbursement, as well as the mileage on top of that. So, I think in general, those are kind of the highlights of all the opportunities that this program offers to the students.
Yeah, and from Spartan's perspective, that really helps students or prospects, I should say, even early on, to see what really start to develop a relationship with SkyWest early on, which is a great benefit for us. Our job at the end of the day has always been the same. We try to tell the story of why this industry is so important. We try to reach people and make them aware of the opportunities in this sector. We evaluate them and see if they're the right fit for the college. We deliver the education, which we have been since 1928, in a way that is to the highest standard. And at the end of the day, it's all measured up in what was your college experience like, and did you get a job in industry that allows you to fulfill what you were trained for? And the best part of that for me is seeing people walk across the stage, and now walk across the stage and going to SkyWest. That's just another part of the story to make Spartan College and its graduates strong. So, we're educating future generations of aviation professionals. That has changed, but the need and the acute need for this industry is becoming more than it's probably ever been.
And it's been a few months since the program was initially announced. What has the response been so far?
No, overall, the response has been great. We've had many students sign up when we went to. We've kicked off every location with kind of the kickoff what this means here, and really got in front of every student and potential person that was able to benefit from the program. And right on the spot, we had over 50 individuals just sign the opportunity to work with SkyWest after the end of their career. In addition to that, we've had the AMT, others just joined the AMT pathway program in itself that gets them that seniority. It's been amazing to see the interest for those and really it's because they want to see something at the end of their career and have that assurance that all this hard work they're putting into it has an end that can help them, start being satisfied with it and putting to use the tools and the education that they're learning.
Yeah, it's been a pretty quick start. I'm actually I'm really happy about the partnership, because SkyWest has really been there. Also, not only just writing this partnership on paper, but actually doing things to really help people understand what this partnership means. And that has been the greatest part of it, is they're telling their story, and we're able to tell the story of this partnership together. And it's been a great response. We had we're been out on a couple social media posts, several, more than several, and the response has been really great. So we're looking forward to really expanding this and growing this partnership, and hopefully through word of mouth and through awareness, we're going to start to, help bring more talented people into our industry and into our school because of innovative programs like this.
Excellent. Yeah, I'm glad to hear it. And speaking of growing the program, when we look to the future, what do you see as the future of the Pathway program and maybe AMT education just in general?
I think the program itself is already pretty amazing. I mean, the hard work of our team as well as the Spartan team, as Rob mentioned, is has been excellent. The partnership has been great. It hasn't been, heavy-sided, weighted on one side. It's been everyone working together. And I think, as the awareness gets out there and as this continues to grow, people talk about it. I think it's just going to continue to get bigger. There's just wonderful opportunities ahead. I think for all those that can take advantage of it, and really between our company and the schools.
And we're going to continue to innovate on the program. We have we were the first fully recognized FAA comprehensive program for AMT hybrid, a program where students can go partially on ground and then, or I should say, fully online for some of their didactic work, and then do their labs on ground in a format that allows them to stay doing what they need to do, and then come to Tulsa for lab work. So I think that we're going to continue to innovate on the model, the delivery model, to allow more flexibility. There's some changes that are coming to the Part 147 program overall, and I think that's going to open up the ability for people who are teaching Part 147 to be more flexible in their approach. There's always going to be a heavy lab component. Like I said, this is hands-on work and it needs hands-on teaching. But there's going to be more flexibility around the places where it's not hands-on to teach in places where we can meet students and meet their demands for flexibility too. So I think that's going to have in the future, we're going to see more innovation like that on the program side. And we look forward to, with SkyWest, to being able to, also talk about those benefits of a flexible education pathway as well.
Well, Rob, Eli, this has been a great conversation so far, and I just have one last question for you both. Getting a little broader here, taking a step back, what would you say in general can just be done to attract more people to an aviation career?
Man, we have a great marketing team. We are always looking for opportunities to get involved with anything that has to do with the high schools. We in the past have always been kind of involved with the school opportunities and those job fairs and that kind of things, but we also realize we need to take that one step further. So we've really been stretching ourselves a little bit and reaching out a little bit broader. I think that needs to continue to happen. We do partner with other groups like Women in Aviation and other groups associated similar to that. But we're just really trying to get that awareness out there. I think kind of back to where we started from the beginning is, if people don't know about it, they can't do anything about it. And I think that knowledge really is the power. And I think between us and Spartan being able to team up and put our efforts together, I think that's really going to be able to take us far when it comes to speaking to people, giving the opportunities to individuals and the potential students, not just the ones that are currently engaged in the school as well.
I agree. Just awareness in general, and that's why this partnership is such a great thing for both of our organizations. We both want to be able to reach more people in more communication to teach what the industry is about. And once people hear about it, they usually say, "Boy, I never even thought about aviation as a career," or "I didn't think that was an opportunity, or that I had the skill set, potential skill set." So we're going to be doing a lot more, like we're doing with you today on podcasts, is just getting awareness out there and getting people to see what this industry is about. I will add also that I think there's a strategic imperative to get more women involved in aviation. It is a really traditionally dominated profession with men, and we want to bring in more women into aviation. I think it's 91 to 92% today of pilots are men, and so we need more workforce participation from women, and we have quite a number of women studying here at Spartan. But for us as a social mission, we want to broaden that and make that a much more significant part of the total workforce.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Aviation Pros Podcast. Be sure to visit AviationPros.com for more stories, breaking news, and expert insight from all around the aviation industry.